Welcome back to Plague Scythe Studios, everyone. Today's video is yet another project day video. So we're going to be playing with the AX8. I've got an expression pedal to pair with it, and we're going to be putting it on an old Pedaltrain pedal board. Now, were that all there was to this video, I wouldn't even probably make a video out of it, but I have used this pedal board since 2008 or 2009. I can't remember, it was late 08, early 09. And most of those pedals you see back there were on that board at one time or another. I realized when making this channel though that I needed individual pedals more so than I did a board to film stuff with. So I took it apart and my Pedaltrain's been sitting around ever since. Well, now that I need an expression pedal around my AX8 as well, then kind of made sense to go ahead and put it on some type of pedal board. And since I already have it lying around, it has enough room to put a couple little extra things later on if I do need it, including like a power strip, maybe even a power amp pedal. Then decided to go ahead and reuse what I already have. But there's quite a bit of gunk on it still left over. I need to clean it up and get this thing mounted properly. We'll have to buy some cables later to get this all flushed out. So this will be a couple parts in the making, but yeah, it should make a, I guess, entertaining series if you're into this kind of stuff. So yeah, here we go. AX8, put it on a pedal board. So welcome to my humble kitchen where literally every piece of production equipment is visible in the frame, but you know, that's what we gotta work with when you don't have a garage to do this kind of stuff anymore. So yeah, we've got all these pieces of double-sided tape to take off so we can put more double-sided tape back on. But this stuff is in rough shape. I haven't used this pedal board as an actual pedal board in a long time, so I won't be rummaging around here grabbing paper towels and whatnot. My plan of action right now, I want to kind of nuke this with WD-40 and I hope most of it will come off. I can probably run it in the sink and wash it off legitimately here in a bit once I get most of this stuff off. I just want to, you know, kind of get this pedal board cleaned up a little bit more because we are putting a very valuable piece of equipment on it. Wouldn't make sense to slap this on while this is still sticky and all that crap. I did clean it up actually about 8 months ago, but I didn't really care about getting all the residue off and that sort of thing. And then I realized that all the pedals I put on it, I would have to take off to use for videos. And well, you see where it's at now. So eventually my plan is to do another little project where I put all the other spare pedals onto one pedal board in logical rows, or at least, or maybe have a couple of them, I don't know yet. But something with just drives and something with just multi-effects, I don't know yet, but that's kind of what I want to do because this will be the functional one. And you can see why I'm doing this in the kitchen because all this crap's going to roll off to the floor and I didn't want to do that on carpet. So this will be easier to clean up for sure. Let's just start chiseling stuff away. So I don't actually have a paint chisel. This is what I did last time. The tape that was on there last time was a lot older though, so this might not be quite as bad. If I just let there we go. Yeah, it actually isn't terrible. It's gonna be getting the little bits that suck. So apologies for the air conditioning background noise, but it's freaking miserable in here. It ain't even hot outside, but I think it's where a bunch of people are gone in this apartment complex and no one's running their AC except for me and maybe one other poor slob who, like me, would rather spend just a weekend getting some arts and crafts done than going out and getting destroyed with their friends. All right, 2 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5 to go. So this is definitely one of the downsides of the Fractal Audio AX8. Of course, if you were going to use a Helix with anything else but the Helix, you'd have to do this too. Put it on a ginormous pedal board. But with, you know, the AX8, I'm just adding an expression pedal for right now with a little bit of room with extra stuff if I need it down the road. And I'm having to do this. Of course, if you bought a new pedal board, this wouldn't be a problem, but I've had this Pedaltrain since like 2008, 2009, something like that, so I would like to reuse it. And it's got a case. That was the biggest thing, honestly. I thought it's like, you know, if I use it in a live situation, if I have to have a loose expression pedal, it's not the end of the world, but by the time you buy a freaking case to fit everything in, because the AX8 is such a awkward shape compared to, I guess, a lot of what's available on the market, it just makes more sense to just use a Pedaltrain and hook it all up. And this thing isn't going to close very easily. I've already tested it with the AX8 on it. So I might have to cut some foam or just keep forcing it until the foam gives way. It'll go eventually. It's not like it's going to, it's not like it can bend the AX8 or anything. It's aluminum, but it's going to probably bulge out the case a little bit. Not that I need it for travel all that much. This is just as much for simplicity, keeping it all in one unit when I'm recording as it is anything. All right, let's douse this long one again. This must be the most riveting TV of all time for you guys. At the same time, I don't think there would be much sustenance in a video of just putting double-sided tape down on a pedal board and throwing an expression pedal and giant ass pedal board on it and calling it a day. At least you get to see all the hard work I have to go through to get to that point. I just realized that's kind of a problem in our at least the English language. I don't know, maybe some of you out there that speak multiple languages can tell me if the same thing occurs, but we call this a pedal board. We also call multi-effects units that have switches on them pedal boards, because pedal board is both the object that you put the pedals on and the finished product with the pedals on it. So English is stupid. So my initial plan for this was not only to put the expression pedal and AX8 on, but also provide means for a couple other standalone pedals, which, not to say I would never do that in the future, but really at this point there's nothing I can't model on the AX8 that I've not been able to at this point. And I don't know that I'd want to. The only thing I'm thinking could come in handy later is to have like the baby bomb hooked up as well. That way I have it powered out and not just direct and whatnot. But at that point I'm thinking, in what situation would I be in that there's both, or that there's only a guitar speaker cabinet but not something to power it? Because that's the only time I would need a baby bomb. Everything else is going to be powered PA, or using the direct out, or I would use it through the effects loop of an amp and possibly direct out at the same time. So I don't really know of a scenario that would make sense. And if I do that, if I have any other extra pedals on besides this, I do need a power strip. And I'm thinking of getting one anyway, just to have like a USB plug up somewhere for your phone and whatnot, which would be cool. I could absolutely fit it right there. But for right now, I think I'm just going to leave it with AX8, expression pedal, add stuff later if need be. And the people I've seen use this exact board, I think they fit multiple expression pedals on the on this board. So it might have been hanging off a little bit, and I think the guy I'm thinking of used one regular size and one mini. That's probably what I'm thinking of. Either way, it's pretty cool if you need both volume and wah at the same time. Me, I never would, but pretty cool what people come up with either way. Plus that the Moog pedal I have is quite a bit smaller in footprint, at least width, than the official Fractal one, I think. I like the feel of the Moog quite a bit, especially for the price. All right, so we're at this point. Let's try to clean up these little remnants here, and then I think be ready for a final wipe down, and I can wash it legitimately. Go ahead and use some soapy water here. So to help get this crap loosened up. Give it a real bathing. And I honestly consider just like, you know what, cut my losses. I'll kind of halfway do this decently, not to the extent I'm planning on right now. and just buy a whole new pedal train or a knockoff and use that. But God, they're expensive, man. I know they were expensive even when I bought this. It was like 89, 90 bucks. But now they're like 110, 120 for this. I mean, I get it. They're well made. You couldn't really do it much easier on your own. You could do it cheaper, but I mean, I get how they charge so much, but at the same time, it's just like, it's a freaking couple slats of board, man, or not even wood. It's, you know, sheet metal most of the time. This is, you know, a few mils thick, but it's like, you're not over engineering it. Where's the cost coming from other than the case? The case, everything combined, I can kind of sympathize with that a bit, but I mean, people were just selling these standalone for like $80, $90. I don't get it. Some of like the really beautifully crafted, legitimate boards that's made out of like hardwood and stuff that people sink their time into, those I can understand. They're cool. But I wouldn't use anything except for like really classic stuff on that anyway. Doesn't really make sense to put amp modelers on something made from hardwood, in my opinion. We're now at the point of the show where we take the old dish Brillo pad and go ham. I don't know if this is going to be enough actually grit. It's better than what I had. Yeah, it's doing it. We're doing it slowly but surely. Look at us go. Nice. It's always one of the things that amazes me about adhesive products in general is kind of like water, I guess, is its ability to stick to other shit better than it does to itself. It's like you made something to be an adhesive, but in and of itself, the adhesive isn't even a good adhesive to itself. It's better on other shit. It's hard to say that in words, but it's one of those stupid product things I always think of. See, this is some magical stuff here. I'm like 20 feet away from the camera, and you still get a nice immersive washing experience. This is next gen right here. This is why recording separate audio is pretty cool. Now, were I not doing this for a video, and of course I'm not just doing it for video only, I'm doing it for myself, but I thought it'd be a cool content piece for you guys. But if I was just doing this to be doing it, I'd be listening to music or have something in the background that I'm watching while I'm doing it. Being by yourself doing this stuff without anything else and kind of talking to yourself is a little strange. A little strange. You gotta kind of get over that if you're gonna make stuff like this that's halfway watchable. It isn't just you know, narration afterwards or something. I can never get into that. Any videos I make, I'm a much more in the moment live narration type person, except for like game reviews and that kind of stuff I can kind of do. But even in that sense, I'm not going off script. I'm watching stuff while I talk, generally, and that sort of thing. The same deal here. There's no way I can make something that is flavored like me, you know, that has my sense of what I think should be in a video where I just talk over something after the fact. It's too theatrical at that point, at least for my taste. I don't know how to do it. People that do that stuff well is pretty cool, but I'm not one of those people. And the dog starts barking at absolutely nothing. There's a few things that will make you question existence itself when you live in an apartment complex. Everything has its ups and downs. I think living by yourself in a small house is the best way to do it, as long as you're, well, I couldn't do it in like a huge suburb, but something that's halfway older that, you know, houses aren't stacked up right next to each other, I could absolutely do that. But, you know, apartment complex living is cheaper. A lot of stuff's paid for the same every month, so that's nice. But some things like, why does the dog just wake up randomly when its people are gone and bark at absolutely nothing? Stuff like that. Okay, maybe the screwdriver will come back in handy here. This poor case is getting marauded underneath it, but That's the point of road cases, to take one for the team. The stuff inside of it. Living in a pet-friendly building also makes you question why people even have pets at all. I love, you know, I'm a dog person, grew up with several dogs. Our last dog was for part of our family for like 13 years. You know, I think everyone should have a pet if their lifestyle supports it. But 99% of people, it doesn't. If you work 8 hours a day and you're gone 9 hours a day, that's already a big chunk of your pet's life that they don't get to interact with you. And then these people, you know, a lot of people will go out and leave them all day on the weekends, sometimes both days on the weekends. And for cats, it's like, it's not as big of a deal. Cats are independent. They're just like, feed me, acknowledge me like once or twice a day, and they're happy enough. But dogs especially, like, that's what makes me wonder, like, do people not just care? I don't know. It's like that dog is upset for a reason. And that's why I will never have a dog while I live here. I'm gone way too much for that. Okay, I think that is officially every little piece of tape up. So I'm gonna wash this off, clean this stuff up, and then we'll be back shortly. All right, we are all cleaned up and dried off. This is the cleanest this pedal board has been in 8 years. It's quite nicked up and scratched and stuff, but you can see some screwdriver marks and whatnot, but I don't really care because this is what the finished product is gonna look like. It's gonna be covered up. So playing around with the positioning and stuff, I think I've got it basically figured out. I'm gonna need some more right angle connectors for about everything. So this is a TRS cable. It's one of the only ones I have. The other one I have is also straight. So for the final version, I want that to be right angled. Definitely want the power cable to be right angled. For now, I can kind of get it out of the way if I wanted to come out the side or the back or whatever. So it's not a big deal. For home use, I'll probably just keep this power cable and a lot of this stuff coming out this way. It's not a big deal. So even with all those connectors, it still works out pretty well. And SBDIF, all that stuff, MIDI, want to be able to have access to there. This does leave this top rail pretty much unutilized. However, this does give me room in the future if I want to have something like that for my power amp. More baby bomb. Look at all that noise. Shaky cam. But yeah, right now I'm just going to keep it AX8 and expression pedal and hope it fits. So let's make sure this stupid thing does fit. So we're about to experience the problem I've been dealing with since day one. You can push it down. It'll stay, but it's going to take a long time to get this foam to give way. And I'm thinking if we turn it around, it'll actually go in a bit easier. So let me try that. Okay, IO side up front, and mostly the same thing. A little bit, it's actually harder because that bar there, that's what's screwing it up. Interesting. Also, that bar's usefulness becomes a little bit nullified when you put it on a pedal board because you're not actually lifting the whole assembly up by that. But it's so cool because it'll block your foot switches. So yeah, this is going to take some time to get this to work well, but it's a case and I can always cut some of that out if need be. More protection than I had before, so let's install it. And the AC kicks on as soon as we start this segment. Of course it does, it'll go away eventually. So our tools for today is going to be fairly simple. Got some outside grade double-sided tape, scissors, and lay down my little safety mat, of course, that way we don't have an incident of scratching the desk again, at least as much because the bottom here is still touching. So let's start with freaking hair everywhere. Let's start with the pedal. Maybe I can still access that switch while it's there. Barely, but I can. Okay, good. So I'm actually going to leave these little supports here because I can kind of notch it in that way and it'll stick. So that kind of tells me where it needs to go as well. Here, need a piece of tape there, need a piece of tape there, need a piece of tape up there. So I think we'll do one right in the middle. Now, the hardest parts of doing these is getting the tape off of the adhesive and not pulling the adhesive off the adhesive. Again, one of those kind of backwards logic things. Now, some of you might be wondering, why am I not using Velcro? Why am I using this? Because two reasons. Number one, it's going to be there, it's going to be permanent. I don't really know of a situation that I would want my AX8 and not the expression pedal and all the stuff that comes with it. In a even recording environment, it stays on the floor anyway, and it's all fine, so I don't care about it not being permanent. Even when you cover the whole board in Velcro, and you know, it's able to be theoretically drag and drop pedals wherever you want it to be, the other side of the Velcro seems to always come off sooner on the other pedals, so then you end up spending more money to just replace the shit with Velcro, and then you still got the same problem of getting all the sticky side off and all that stuff like we just went through. So to me, it's just as easy to do freaking double-sided tape on all this. And in my experience, unless you pay for the more premium Velcro, like the brand Velcro, then it just doesn't even stick that well compared to this stuff. Pain to get off, yes, but when it's there, it works, so that's kind of what I'd rather have. Okay, it about kicked my ass, but I did get it, so let's make sure this is lined up the way we want it. Right there's good. We'll press down. Hopefully it's hit every one of those strips. I can pick the whole board up with the pedal. I think that's good. All right, well that was the easy part. Let's plan the AX8 here. And it's kind of the similar situation here. I could have taken off the legs, but I don't really want to, because I'm worried about the lip on the outside doing the same thing that one could have potentially done. So I think I'm just gonna bring that all the way back. This section will be sitting on its own. I'm thinking I can line this whole, just this whole thing, and it'll be just as well off. So I think that's what I want to do. From there to, let me slap the stand a little bit more there. This is the hard part about filming and working in a confined space. So we'll go to the edge of that. That's what we'll do. All right, all down. Just got to get covers off, plant it on there, and that is a wrap. And we have 33% battery left, battery. So we might just finish this. I need a knife. Well, hell, look at that. It's actually easier to get them off in the middle than it is on the edge. My whole life's been a freaking lie. All right, like Eminem says, we've only got one shot. So let's make it count. Move this over as far as I can. Make sure we hit the seam on the board to make it a little bit more symmetrical, not drive my OCD crazy. OCT tendencies. I don't have the disorder, rather. I got a piece of hair stuck there. Lovely. And I think I just barely missed on a couple of these bottom rows. I sure did. All right, grand. Let's move it up. Are they up there? I can't tell. They sure aren't. That's what I was afraid of. So that means we're going to have to double up layers. Shit. You can see what I was talking about. So those made no contact. You know, we might actually be better off taking the legs off if those are missing that bad. So let me try that before I double up and admit defeat. All right, take two, 24% battery. Let's go, we can do it. And down, 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 down. Up a little bit. Let's see. Houston, I believe we've made contact. A little slippy there. A little slippy everywhere. We're not touching all of it. We are touching parts. So let's find out what the problem is. So as I imagined, those lips are indeed giving us problems. It's on parts, not on all. Okay, all right. We will double up, as I said. Okay, I doubled up these 5, and hopefully that'll hold it. So once more with feeling. Come on. Lined up, I can feel it. It's touching already, which is an improvement over last time. We're down. I believe we're on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're on for sure. Let's hold it that way. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. We are officially locked in. I believe that is the pedal board for today. And I just noticed my zoom is completely not the same way I had a second ago. So I'm going to throw this in the case and let her rest, get it locked in a little bit better, clean this crap up, and then I'm sure there'll be a revisiting of this project later down the road when I get some more right angle connectors and if I decide to put anything up front. But for now, I think that's pretty good. Get this bottom corner a little bit. That's cockeyed. There we go. Perfect. All right. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.